One of Denver's largest homeless service providers is losing out on city funding after a string of security incidents.
I cannot, in good conscience, give the Salvation Army another dollar.
A new policy from the Trump administration means thousands of immigrants in Colorado could soon lose their legal status and face deportation. Colorado's ski mountains are open to everyone, but they don't always feel that way.
It just makes it more welcoming. It also makes it more like home.
One program wants to make the slopes more accessible to the people who keep the ski industry alive. And custom-made audiobooks bridge the gap between incarcerated parents and their children. All that and more tonight on Next. Tension is growing between Denver leaders and one of the city's largest homeless service providers. Tonight, city councilors voted against a multi-million-dollar contract with the Salvation Army, citing a string of issues at a shelter, including a double homicide, hundreds of police calls, and the recent sexual assault of a resident by an employee. This afternoon, Denver City councilors were set to vote on a nearly $3 million contract for the Salvation Army to help 150 homeless families find permanent housing over the next 3 years. That contract discussion came just a few days after an employee at the Salvation Army shelter on Quebec in the former Doubletree Hotel was arrested and charged with the felony sexual assault of a resident. It's the latest in a string of security incidents at the shelter, which has been a cornerstone of Mayor Mike Johnston's plan to end unsheltered homelessness in the city. Last year, 2 people were shot and killed inside that same shelter. The city took over security shortly after that, claiming the Salvation Army wasn't implementing security improvements despite $800,000 in city funding. The shelter is in City Councilwoman Chantel Lewis's district. She's raised concerns about the shelter's security and operations for months and led the effort today to kill this new contract. Lewis says it's time for the city to really reevaluate the partnership with the Salvation Army and consider other providers.
I have deep concerns regarding the Salvation Army and their ability to keep folks safe within their care. We have seen it. The number of times that the Denver Police Department has to respond to sites that are managed by the Salvation Army, the number of incidences that have happened specifically in my district. We've had a double homicide in District 8 at the site that the Salvation Army manages. Just recently, we had an individual who was sexually assaulted by one of the employees of the Salvation Army.
Lewis went on to say that it would be irresponsible to give the Salvation Army any more money going forward. All but one councilor voted with her to reject this new rehousing contract. Salvation Army has declined to answer our questions about the recent assault and security at the shelters, citing an ongoing investigation. About 500,000 migrants fleeing political persecution and natural disasters could soon lose legal protections in the United States. Late last week, the Trump administration announced plans to end the temporary protected status program for immigrants from several countries, targeting those groups for deportation as soon as next month. Our Angeline McCall explains.
When temporary protected status was granted, a moment of relief for people fleeing dangerous countries. Under the new Trump administration, it's been a moment of panic.
The reality is, this is a scary moment.
Violeta Chapin, law professor at CU Boulder, says President Trump's latest announcement to revoke temporary protected status for over 500,000 people is really an attempt to roll back protections for immigrants, specifically those granted protection under President Biden, including Venezuelans, Cubans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans.
The Trump administration clearly is trying to end designations for Venezuela, certainly, and Haiti, even though there is absolutely no evidence that things have normalized in those places. In fact, all the evidence shows that things are just as bad and just as chaotic in those countries.
Here in Colorado, the impact means loss of status and loss of work permits. According to the federal government, it could affect more than 6,500 people in Colorado who had approved TPS applications as of March 2024.
So remember that President Trump tried to end TPS designations for several countries during his first administration, and he was singularly unsuccessful in deporting anybody the first time around.
The announcement will likely be met with legal challenges, but the authority to make decisions on TPS is held by the Secretary of Homeland Security. Chapin says Trump may find more success during his second term.
There's going to be legal challenges for sure. I just don't know how far we're going to get this time. The executive has a tremendous amount of discretion to make immigration decisions.
This is now Trump's second attempt to really roll back TPS. And a little history for you, this is actually a policy created by Republican former President H.W. Bush in the 1990s.
I mean, if we talk about these protections, they've had it, and now it's gone. It's been revoked.
Yeah, and make it really clear, right? So with TPS, people would tend to renew every 2 years, for instance. This is not, say, you have it and we're not going to renew you. This is, we're taking it away. And just to be really clear with you as well, when opponents and critics talk about TPS and some of their worries and concerns, they're concerned because, you know, TPS, people who have TPS are complying with USCIS. They're complying with the immigration system, meaning that USCIS has all of their up-to-date information, addresses, contact information, all of the things that, you know, would be needed to target people if they really do want to detain, deport them in some of the numbers that President Trump is talking about.
And this would affect thousands of people right here in Colorado included. Angelina McCall, appreciate it. Thank you. It happens to the best of us. You get tagged in a really bad photo on Instagram, then scramble really quickly to untag yourself. It's a bit harder to do, hide those unflattering photos if you're the president, sure. But Donald Trump got mad about an oil painting hanging in the Colorado Capitol building that he didn't like. And after complaining to his millions of social media followers, he has succeeded now in getting that picture removed. Colorado House Democrats say they'll take this photo of Donald Trump down at the request of Republican leadership. The painting caught Trump's eye over the weekend. In a Truth Social post, he called it, quote, purposefully distorted, and claimed that Coloradans were calling his office to complain about it. Trump blamed Democratic Governor Jared Polis for it, but the photo's been handed up in the Capitol gallery since 2019, and Colorado Republicans were the ones who originally fundraised $10,000 to commission the painting from an artist in Colorado Springs. Former Senate President Kevin Grantham led that effort. Today, he said he's open to the president's feedback on it.
There's no beauty in the eye of that beholder in particular. Let's find one he likes and one that fits the bill, and we'll replace it. Simple as that.
In a statement this afternoon, House Democrats said, quote, if the GOP wants to spend time and money on which portrait of Trump hangs in the gallery, then that's up to them, end quote. That'll be up to private donors, though, since the funds for portraits don't come out of the state budget.
Windy and warm weather to start this week. And when I talk about the wind, I mean power outages this morning as winds blew to 84 miles per hour in some of the canyon areas and especially up near southwest of Boulder. The good news is the trend is for decreasing wind as we move through the evening. Temperatures today 70 in Denver, 80 in Pueblo. We'll see a warm weather temperature trend continue for most of the week. We're still in the mid 60s in Denver, Greeley, and Fort Collins. Outside tracking the wind, it's coming down just a little bit, not quite as blustery, but it's not really calm either. The worst of the wind to the north and to the east of us, and that will be the trend over the next few hours as high and mid-level clouds spill into the state around the backside of high pressure, which is coming in from the west. So just a few clouds around the area tonight. We'll have more sunshine tomorrow, less cloud cover, and the big story tomorrow, less wind. This is a week where we could see record high temperatures as we say goodbye to the month of March. Temperatures will slide into the 50s in the next couple of hours, and your 7-day forecast, 71 tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 75 Wednesday, possible record breaker Thursday with a high of 79, mid 70s Friday with increasing clouds and mountain snow, and a chance for rain showers on cooler weather Saturday, clearing Sunday, back to sunshine and close to 60 a week from today.
Last week, we asked for your help filling an emergency funding gap for a nonprofit dedicated to the health and safety of Colorado's outdoor spaces, and you came through big time. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's Word of Thanks.
Thanks for being with Next while I'm away, and thank you for your latest Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign. You raised more than $50,000 for Southwest Conservation Corps for their wildfire mitigation and their trail restoration work around Colorado. They had a possible federal funding shortfall of about $46,000. You more than covered it. We will be back on Wednesday with your 250th Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign. If you have an idea of a nonprofit in our state that could use our help, email me, next@9news.com. See you soon.
Just because they live in a mountain town doesn't mean they feel at home on the slopes. An outdoor program in Summit County is helping workers overcome the obstacles keeping them on the sidelines. And an audiobook project uses the power of bedtime stories to keep incarcerated parents connected with their kids. That's next. Summit County is built on the ski industry, but that doesn't mean that everyone in the area has access to the slopes. Photojournalist Mike Grady and I want to share this story with you about making skiing more accessible to the folks who keep mountain towns running.
Pero bueno, vamos.
The hardest part of skiing can be just making it to the mountain.
Pero me siento un poquito nerviosa.
Monica Posada never thought days like this at Arapahoe Basin were for her.
La clase pasada y esta va a ser mi segunda.
She's finally achieving her dream after living in Summit County for 5 years.
Yo sí había querido antes, siempre me ha llamado la atención, pero nunca había encontrado quien me enseñara. Y más que todo en español.
Ok, chicas, vamos a empezar.
Javier Pineda's goal is getting Monica on the hill and down it.
Eso.
Javier!
Inclínate más.
Helping her through the full skiing experience.
Eso. Es lo que te estaba diciendo.
Mi primera caída.
His lessons are in Spanish because he understands language can be a hurdle to getting on the slopes.
By adding that language into the mix of learning, it just makes it more welcoming. It also makes it more like home. We joke around more organically in that sense. Porque esto nomás va a hacer que no hacer nada.
Javier started Oso Outdoors to eliminate barriers.
Perfecto. Vamos.
The program has given free gear, classes, and passes to more than 250 people like Monica who work in the area but have never had the opportunity to ski.
No hice lo del pie.
No, está bien.
Conozco de toda mi comunidad, de las personas más allegadas a mí, solamente 3 personas lo hacen.
Even though we live in an amazing place like Summit County, people from my community, specifically our Latino immigrant communities, does not mean they have little access to the mountain. Pero el secreto es una presión muy pequeñita.
His directions transcend languages.
Pizza, pizza, pizza.
Monica and the rest of the class work in hospitality. Their community relies on people like them to thrive. But that doesn't mean they've always had the opportunity
Hello, how are you?
to be a part of the industry they serve.
How many?
8 total.
8?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead this table.
At Fringata's restaurant in Silverthorne, Monica sees the visitors every day.
Viene mucho turista, sobre todo en la época tanto de invierno como de verano.
The restaurant gets a lot of ski traffic,
House Margarita.
yet most of the employees have never been on the mountain.
No sabe esquiar. Es mucha la gente, por lo que pues es difícil acceder a ello para nosotros.
Monica came to Summit County from Colombia to work and create a new future for her family.
Enjoy.
Now that future includes being a part of the ski culture here.
Y pasamos aquí. La silla nos va a pegar, ¿ok?
Okay.
Every dream starts somewhere.
Se va a sentir que la silla baja velocidad.
Sí.
The hard work is just beginning,
Okay.
with Monica's first time on a chairlift.
Y de aquí nos paramos hacia enfrente.
And her first time bombing down a mountain she thought would never be open to her.
Me desestresa, no pienso en otras cosas. Me libero mucho de todas mis cargas emocionales y del otro. Y cuando estoy aquí, como que mi mente se despeja y pensé que me iba a matar, Javier. Pensé que me iba a matar.
Ok.
¡Qué adrenalina!
Javier shows Monica how important it is to keep going. Because these mountains belong to everyone.
I just got tired of seeing the same type of people on the mountain. And I think bringing a different face to the mountain is very crucial. That was good.
Es un privilegio estar aquí aprendiendo y sobre todo en español.
Buen trabajo.
It was so much fun being up there and seeing progress being made from the bunny hill at the beginning to the chairlift and just bombing down the mountain. Muy bien, Monica. Muy bien. Oso Outdoors is working to expand to more ski resorts and help more people learn how to ski.
Hearing that parent's voice is crucial to them knowing that they are loved.
Incarcerated parents can't physically be there for their kids, but one nonprofit in Denver is making sure families stay connected through a weekly bedtime story. Our story is next. Reading aloud to children should be a staple of every child's upbringing, but not every parent has the opportunity to do that. There's a program that helps incarcerated parents connect with their children to keep that bond alive while they're away. Here's Byron Reed.
Anything written by Dr. Seuss, he's magic to me.
The books on these shelves have a special meaning.
But what I love about Seuss, he is ingenious at teaching morals.
For Sister Marianne Figlino, the collection is a representation of her hard work.
And we use those books a lot. We used it in teaching religion, actually. You know, God wants you to love one another. Well, you see it subtly in Seuss's books.
Hi, Papa. It's Mommy.
25 years ago, Sister Marianne started Project Bedtime Story. It's a program that provides incarcerated parents at the Denver County Jail with an opportunity to share a storybook with their children.
The recording studio was 5 tape recorders and a stack of cassettes, and then the moms would be able to come to the room, and there usually was 9 or 10 women at a time, and they would choose the book of choice and then go to the tape recorder.
I saw a brown horse looking at me.
The book would then be mailed to the children with the sound of their parents' voice. The project bridges the distance between parents and their children.
Which is really nice to keep that connection between the parent and the children, wherever they are.
Laura Schneider took over the program 18 years ago after Sister Marianne retired. The recordings are now on CDs and audio clips, but still hold the same purpose.
Hearing that parent's voice is crucial to them knowing that they are loved and supported, and it increases their library at home.
I went walking.
They're a collection of books Sister Marianne is grateful for.
And I'm thrilled to see that it's been carried on.
That builds a missing connection that can last a lifetime.
They can make those bonds even stronger, because those children lost their mom for a good part of their lives.
For next,
Yay, Papa, Mommy loves you.
I'm Byron Reed.
What a cool program. Hey, we got an important anniversary to share today. 5 years ago, Denver experienced perhaps the shortest-lived prohibition in history. On March 23rd, 2020, Denver Mayor Michael Hancock warned that all non-essential businesses would be required to close their doors at 5 p.m. on March 24th, 5 years ago today, as the COVID lockdowns went into effect. So, of course, everyone in Denver ran outside to the liquor stores and dispensaries to stock up for the foreseeable future. The lines were long, the stress was high, and it all lasted about 2.5 hours. Denver's mayor and city leaders said that liquor stores and dispensaries were not considered essential businesses as the city shuttered for COVID. Then boom, all the lines formed. So the city quickly reversed the decision a couple of hours later, saying that liquor stores and dispensaries could operate as long as they used extreme physical distancing. That was their words. 5 years later, we remember the great Denver prohibition of March 23rd, 2020 from 2:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. Hey, they even made t-shirts and commemorative tote bags. I survived the Denver prohibition. Marissa modeling it today. Thank you. Feedback is next. Quick feedback tonight. Lynette asks if the ski lessons for resort workers are free. Yes, the gear, the clothes, the passes, all free. It's awesome. We'll see you next time.